Hey y'all, happy Monday. Even if it feels like a Tuesday, because I put in a full day packing our orders yesterday, and I still have half of them to go. You see, I got my table nice and cleaned off, everything's already been packed up from yesterday's video, and like I said, now we're gonna get started on the other half. And don't think I'm complaining, it is a great problem to have. In total over the weekend, we sold 65 items. Because of course a few more sold yesterday. So we are going to pull those and show you what we sold. We're going to start off with this, and it's in our kitchen cabinet, so obviously it's a kitchen item. It's actually a set of 3 appliance covers, and just a cotton material stripes, pretty, paid $1. They sold for $14.95. We grabbed those at a yard sale. Now, I don't know how many different ways I need to tell you guys, don't sleep on pens at estate sales. I recently grabbed a whole handful of pens, over a dozen, at an estate sale on the last day, and this is one of them. It's made by the company Cross, and it's actually 14 karat gold filled. I paid about $0.10 for it, and it sold within hours for $29.95. But they don't have to be gold to sell for good money. Brands like Cross and Parker sell well on their own. Now we have an item from my childhood going out. Who remembers playing with the hacky sack? If you lived through the 90s, you should. I paid $0.25 for this at a yard sale. It sold for $7.95. And of course, I've told you guys about pharmaceutical pens before. Basically anything pharmaceutical has the potential to sell. This is a stack of 8 Post-it note writing pads with the Rimonel prescription name on them. We paid $1 at the Creative Memories estate sale for them, and they sold for $10. I think that person got a pretty good deal because you can't really even buy Post-it notes for $10 for 8 pads anymore. It's kind of crazy how expensive things are getting. Now, speaking of Creative Memories, we do have some items going out. I recently restocked my store with a handful of things I just never got around to listing before. And these 3 sets of pages for a 12 by 12 album sold. I paid 75 cents. They sold for $44.85. An excellent profit. A few months ago, I bought these at an estate sale. I actually got a whole bag full of them for 25 cents a piece. And I completely forgot about them. They got buried in my death pile, and I finally got around to listing them last week, and we have sold our first pair. These are American Girl doll shoes. And if you check the sticker on the back, they are the older style if they say they are made for the Pleasant Company, which all of these are. This pair of patent leather little dress shoes, we paid $0.25 for it. It sold for $11.95. They were originally marked $1, and we grabbed them on 75% off day, and we got 7 or 8 pairs. So that was a really good deal, all different styles, so pretty fun to go through them. Now we have a viewer order going out, and we are going to start with this piece of vintage newspaper ephemera. This is a World War II war rations clip out from the newspaper. I paid about $0.25 for it, came in a whole big lot, sold for $12.71. Now the buyer of these 3 sales is named Megan. Thank you, Megan, for your sales, and of course, as always, thank you for watching. She also grabbed a set of 10 cookie cutters. And we found these at the bins. They are all Southwest, Cowboy, Texas themed. You can see right there. Paid about $0.25 by weight. They sold for $10.16. And she grabbed one more thing. And this item lets me know we would get along quite well because I too love Taylor Swift. This is the movie theater cup from when her Eras tour was in the theaters. And as you can see, I have one for myself right over there. I keep my napkins in it. And I paid 59 cents for it at the thrift store. It sold for $8.46. So thank you for your combined order of $31.33. I appreciate you. Now we have a hat going out, and this was a relatively recent estate sale pickup. All the hats there were $1 a piece. They had a big old tote of vintage hats, so I dug through and picked out a handful that I liked. This is a Hatteras Marlin Club, so a fishing club in the Outer Banks. Vintage trucker hat with scrambled eggs and a matching marlin pin. I paid $1. It sold for $24.95, which was a really great sale. Now you guys might recognize this item from a recent trip to the bins that I did. I actually got a video of me pulling this out of the bins. This is a sealed Karate Kid VHS tape, and it is in amazing condition. No tears, rips, nothing like that, no dings. It looks great. I paid 50 cents by weight. It sold for $29.95, my full asking price. Now we're heading down to our sports cabinet and grabbing something I don't really know a lot about, except I knew that these were new when I saw them at an estate sale, so I figured I'd look them up, and I was happy with the comp, so I picked them up. They are 4 Golf Pride Tour Wrap grips, so replacements for a golf club. I paid $2 for the 4 of them. They sold for $25. Somebody sent me an offer and I accepted. I did have them listed a little bit higher. The comps were a little bit higher, but I'm happy with 2 into 25. Now we have a book from the bins going out. This is the Golden Book of Indian Crafts and Lore. It's from 1954, so we're gonna have to overlook the fact they didn't call it Native American Crafts and Lore. Otherwise, the political incorrectness oversight there, this is actually a really cool educational book, and I thought about keeping it just to reference some things if I happen to find something down the road, but we decided to list it and it sold for $14.95. We only paid 50 cents. Now our next item came from an estate sale that we hit on the way back from a bowling trip that my boyfriend was participating in, and this estate sale was out in the middle of nowhere on a Sunday, and it was jam-packed. I was surprised. We found a few things, including this Joseph original Sitting Pretty little girl figurine, and we paid 50 cents for it. It sold for $24.95. I actually paid $1 for 2 trinkets together, so that's how the 50 cents worked out. Now we have another VHS going out, which I love when the VHS sells. It confirms I did a good job trusting my instincts. And this is the Teletubbies in a little clamshell case here. This one's called Funny Day. We picked this up at the bins as well. Paid 50 cents. It sold for $9.95. Now we're heading down to our back scratcher and fly swatter cubby. And I pick up a lot of these fly swatters. I love them. I can't leave them behind if they're $1 or less at an estate sale, which this one was $1. And this cool little butterfly top on it. We paid $1. It sold for $9.95. I buy a lot of those fly swatters. They don't necessarily move off the shelves very fast, but I can't resist them. Speaking of another thing I can't resist, patches. You guys know it. Even if it's something I have a pretty good feeling isn't gonna sell, like this next patch, I still pick it up, and surprisingly enough, it sold. Although I forgot, and you'll see here in a second, that it was a lot bigger than I thought it was when I was searching for it. This is 8 inches long, and it says Truett. It looks like it may have been cut off of a Letterman jacket. I don't know if it was a last name or a school, but we paid $0.25 for it in a lot with other patches, and it sold for $9.95. I probably wouldn't have picked that up on its own, but because it came lotted up with a bunch of other ones, it was worth listing. We had it, might as well list it. Now we have a necktie going out, and this one has mallard ducks flying over what looks like a map of the states, which is pretty cool. This is made by Ducks Unlimited, a good brand. We paid $0.25. It sold for $10.16. Now I absolutely loved this item when I found it, and this shelf is getting a little cluttered. I might have to expand it to give it a little bit more space. And that way I can see all the cool things in here. I love this shelf. It's all my vintage advertising kind of items. And this is a Sue Bee honey jar with a pour spout. It was really dirty when I picked it up. Didn't know if I could clean it without messing up the label, but I think I did a pretty good job. I paid $1 for it at an estate sale. It sold for $25.46. Now you guys saw in yesterday's video, I had some poker chips sell for some pretty good prices, and these also came out of that very same box. So I have about 50 cents into these, and I think there's 13 or 15 in this bag. There's quite a few of them, but they're all the same, so we lotted them up. We paid 50 cents. They sold for $29.95. And those are the vintage, authentic clay poker chips. You know what a casino poker chip sounds and feels like? That's how those feel and sound when you clink them together. Now we have a Pez dispenser going out, personal as always. This is a Phillies P logo baseball, and it sold for $4.95. And how about we head back and grab some more Pez? This time it is going to be a set of loose Pez dispensers, and they are not going to the same buyer. They just happen to come in back to back. This is the set of 4 Emergency Hero Pez dispensers. Got the nurse, the fireman, the army man, policeman. They sold for $5.95. Now we have some placemats going out, and there's a set of 10 of these in here. Some of them have some pink staining on them, like somebody maybe spilled some fruit punch on them. But what's really cool is they're plastic. These are completely plastic, but look lace. We paid $1 at an estate sale. They sold for 14 bucks. And we're really moving out some kitschy decor today. We are grabbing this faux wood looking wall hanging butterfly. It is made by Homeco, and yeah, it's a cool piece. I would hang it up in my house if that was my aesthetic at home, but I sell everything that I find like that. We paid $0.25 for it at the bins. It sold for 8 bucks. Now we have a thrift store find going out, and I was actually shocked when I found this at the thrift. It was hanging in the back with like all the soaps and shampoos and perfumes and stuff like that. This is Calvin Klein water fragrance, set of 2 candles, and never been burned. Definitely not brand new. It's been around for a while. They only wanted 99 cents, so I gladly paid it. They sold for $29.95. Now we're heading up here to grab some Pez dispensers. And you guys, I did do some Pez rearranging here because when I saw that these had sold, I started freaking out because I was pretty sure I'd sold the last set of them last week before I left for my trip. But turns out I had a whole nother case. It was just hiding in the back. So here they are, the boy and girl cactus Pez dispensers, perfect for summer. They sold for $9.95. Very rarely do I get to where I think I've sold something that I don't have anymore, and that freaked me out. But happy to say we had it and all is well because we can deliver on our order. Now we have a golf club head cover going out. 'Tis the season for golf stuff, you guys. This is made by the company Daphne, who makes some really great plush stuffed animal looking golf club head covers, and this one is a cheetah. And we found it at the bins, paid about 50 cents by weight. It sold for $9.25 on offer. And I won't lie to you guys, this item I also couldn't find. I was freaking out once again. This is a Radio Shack super tape that somehow ended up down with my cards instead of my tape. So I had to re-record me looking for it because I was searching forever. But I paid $0.25 for it. It sold for $8.46. And again, another order I do not have to cancel. I can't handle this anxiety, you guys. I don't know how it made it down to the playing cards. Now we have a hat going out. This is a vintage Bigfoot trucker hat with a pin in it. Now the pin has a little bit of damage, and the hat, the foam has completely withered away, but somebody still wanted it, which is awesome. We paid $0.25 for it at the bins. It sold for $24.95. 'Tis the season for baseball Pez to go out. Now we are climbing up to the top shelf and grabbing a Houston Astros baseball. I always wonder when I sell just one, are they going to a collector of Pez or are they going to somebody who loves that team? Guess I'll never know. This one sold for $4.95. Now we're heading back to our plush to grab an item that has been in our store for a little while. This is a set of 2 pound puppies, or should I say a pound puppy and a pound kitty. Even though they don't sell for a lot, the comps are not good at all. I can't resist saving them when I find them at the bins, which is where I grabbed these guys. Both of them for $0.25. They sold for $9.95. You know, sometimes you just have to save those childhood memories, even if it's not the best business decision, something that's not going to move fast. How can you put a price on your childhood memories? Now we have a paperback book going out. This is Old Fears, and it is of that horror genre. We paid 50 cents at an estate sale. It sold for $8.46. And you guys are about to see something you've never seen before. These are Pez I specifically purchased to resell. We found these at an antique mall for $2. It's a complete set of Jungle Book Pez, which were European release only, and they sell for pretty good money. I paid $2. They sold for $34.95. So of course I'm gonna pay for those when I see them that cheap. It's just about knowing what you're looking at. Next up is another paperback book. This is called In Broad Daylight, and I believe it's like a true crime type book. Yep, it says for 10 years he terrorized them without mercy. That's horrifying. Well, we paid 50 cents for this one as well, and it sold for $7.61. And our very last item going out came from the last estate sale I went to here, and I had made a video that said, this is everything I got in an estate sale for 10 bucks. What I didn't show you was this Monopoly that also came in that set from William and Mary. And this was in the back seat of my car when I filmed that video, but it was included in the 10 bucks. So I figure I have about $1 into it. and it sold for $74.95 the night that I posted it. So I have $19.93 in everything you saw in this video, and it all sold for $622.53, which is 31 times our money. That brings our weekend total to $1,160.62 from Thursday to Sunday. So a great weekend of sales. We'll see you guys soon with another video of what sold.